This time I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Harlingen City Commission, which has been duly posted to order, and call upon Commissioner Mike Mesmar, Mayor Pro Tem Mesmar, to lead us in an invocation.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear God, thank you for the gifts that we have as individuals in our collective group here today. And please look after the sick, the suffering, the travelers, those who are prisoners, those who are held captive, and the people who are ill. And please have mercy upon us, dear God. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome all of you. Glad to have everybody here at our meeting tonight. Next item of business is citizen communication and input.
We have Edward Rocha. He's speaking on Tony Butler.
Okay. Yeah, so please come forward and state your name and your address and your residence address. If you've signed up for city communication, come on up. You have 2 minutes, and please just give us your name and your residence address.
Yes, my name's Edward Rocha. I live at 538 Lake Drive here in Harlingen. I didn't know I was going to speak right away. I thought I was going to speak after all this. But anyway, my concern is the golf course. What I've been reading in the paper, I've been hearing from coaches. I have 3 kids that are playing golf. One's 17, one's 12. No, wait, take that back. 13, and the other one's 11. But my concern is that what I'm reading, what little bit I read, and what I hear from the coaches, and of course my commissioner Puente, I called him today, and he gave me a little bit of input. But still, the city has neglected Tony Butler Airport for years. I've lived here basically all my life. Dan Sedna's been here. I mean, I've seen him move up the ranks. I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on. I don't know all the details, all the wheelings and dealings that goes on, but the golf course, it belongs to the city. It should stay with the city. The back 9, everything. It should not be sold, because once you sell it, you never get it back. It should be created as a park. I consider it as a big park. It draws people in. They come and play, Winter Texans, whatever. I mean, it never should have been brought up to sell. And that's my main concern. I'll do my best, hopefully that you guys don't sell it. But I hear different things, that there's a lot of wheeling and dealings going on, backdoor deals. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what you hear. And like, it's already done, it's already sold, and I hope not. And that's it. That's just my main concern. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, because this is public comment, we can't respond. It's not an item on the agenda, but we can direct you to Carlos Sanchez, the Assistant City Manager, who can share with you probably information answering a lot of your questions, or some of your questions, because you say you're not sure about some of the information. We can direct you to either after the meeting to.
Okay, I'll talk to him after the meeting.
All right. Is there anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Ron Lozano, but he's speaking on item 1.
During the item, as he told Judge Leal, it can be before or during, have to follow the profferings that were made on your behalf, and also the case law.
Okay, are you addressing the commission? Because if you are, you need to state your name and your residence address.
I'm going to, once the presentation is made, I will speak before the vote or whatever's going to happen.
Anyone else?
That's it.
Item 1, presentation by Rick Navarro, City Attorney, regarding the duties and functions of the legal department.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Rick Navarro, City Attorney for the City of Harlingen. Dan had asked me to give you all a public presentation about the functioning of the legal department. And so I'm kind of wanted to give you and share publicly a little overview of how the legal department is running. As you know, I am the charter-appointed city attorney for the City of Harlingen. And in addition to that, I have a contractual arrangement with the city to provide the city's legal services across the board on all matters within the legal department budget that was existing at the time that you had not one but two in-house city attorneys. That budget has remained stable for the last 3 years, and we have been able to work within that budget to provide that services. The firm, of course, here in the Rio Grande Valley is staffed by Rob Drinkard, Rebecca Hayward, John Michael Hayward, Allison Bastian, and we are mainly the ones that help take care of all of your legal needs here. And of course, I have access to my partners and their staff in San Antonio and Austin, and now we have an office in Houston as well. That's handled by a different partner. So I think the arrangement has worked out well. I am your board counsel. I am appointed by you. I work for you. My client is the elected board and the top administrative staff. So the relationship that we have is an attorney-client relationship with a public corporation. We are governed by the Texas Rules of Disciplinary Conduct in that regard that defines how we do the work for you. And we also, since our firm does nothing other than local government representation, we're able to help you in not only general counsel matters, but in litigation matters as well. There is a little bit of outside work that goes. I think here a week or two ago, you retained specialty counsel that's going to be paid for out of the legal department budget with Rolando Rios on the redistricting matter. That's a specialty item that he's well known for, and it makes sense. So we still have that ability. This past year things have been working pretty smoothly, but in the coming year, I think we're going to be looking at another round of collective bargaining negotiations coming up, and then other issues that come up as we go along. So we're here to serve you. We're here to take care of everything. We handle as much of it as we can within the confines of our office. I think you know that Neri Duran used to be an employee here and was working for us here. She has retired, but she does still continue to help me out at the office as she is able to do that. And of course, she's paid through the legal budget as a contract provider. So the arrangements worked out pretty well, and I hope that we have been responsive to your calls and needs as they have come up, and we expect to continue to do so. So if anybody has any questions about how it's working, I mean, I'm happy to respond, unless we get into some specific legal advice, obviously.
Mr. Lozano, I'll recognize you in a moment. You can sit down, please.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, is there any other, anybody have any questions of Rick? Okay.
No? Thank you very much.
All right.
I have a question of Mr. Navarro. The stable budget you refer to.
You can make a comment, but you're not gonna question him. You can make a comment to the city commission.
You told us that you
have
told
2
the judge
minutes.
that
You
you
have
could
2
ask,
minutes.
we
You
could
have to
ask
have-
questions of
You need
this
to state your name
situation.
and you need to state your residence address.
I did, it's written down.
No,
And
go ahead.
it remains
State your name and
2410,
state
it
your
remains
residence
2410
address.
Riverside Drive, and she can corroborate it for you.
Very good.
Now, within $10,000, within $10,000, can you give us the budget that you have been working under that you stated to the commission?
No, I'm not gonna allow you to ask him a question. You can
Well-
you can address the commission.
All right, well, does anybody know what y'all have been paying for the last 3 years
You
here?
can address the commission.
I just stated it
We're
in
not taking
English,
questions.
Mr.
We're not taking
Boswell.
questions.
Excuse me?
We're not gonna take questions in this forum. You can submit a question.
And yet, I wanted you to say that because your pleadings say something totally different. Thank you very much.
All right. Item 2 is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 2nd, 2019.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda items 3A. Is there a motion to adopt the consent?
So
agenda?
moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Item 4, consideration and possible action to allow a license to encroach 14.5 feet by approximately 412 feet out of the south side right-of-way along Bowie Avenue adjacent to Block 7, Clift Edition, located at 1417 East Austin Avenue.
Mayor, City Commission, good evening. We have an agenda item, is to allow a license to encroach for an existing parking lot along Bowie Avenue. Here's a survey of the property that shows the school, and they have parking along the south side of Bowie Avenue, is within the right-of-way. It's just east of High Street. This parking has been in place since 2003. So technically speaking, this should have come before you back in 2003, but better late than never. And here's a more detail of the survey that shows the property line, and these are the parking spaces that have been there for many years, and that are located within the city right-of-way. So, aerial photograph showing the school, the church, and the street. The applicant is requesting this license to encroach for an existing parking lot within the right-of-way. It's along the south side of Bowie Avenue, east of High Street. The school was built in 1974. Like I mentioned, the parking was done apparently in 2003 when the school went through an expansion project. A license to encroach was not processed back then. I'm sure the city knew about it, and there was a verbal agreement back then. The maneuvering for the parking takes place within the street. And here's a picture from the east that shows the parking in question. And staff recommends approval. No utility companies has any objections.
So this is basically bookkeeping, right?
Yeah, basically.
'cause
Yeah. It's
you're-
an existing parking lot. It's not going anywhere.
Right, because it says it's a revocable license to encroach, and so,
Yeah. I mean, it could be denied and we could make them take it out.
I'd like to make that motion for approval.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. I'd like to recognize Tracy Lamon, the head of the school at St. Albans, and Father John and Sarah, the rector at St. Albans Church. Welcome. And Michael.
And Michael.
Thank you for coming along.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that guy.
Thank you.
Item 5, consideration possible action to authorize staff to proceed with disposing of surplus properties.
Mayor, City Commission, City Manager. Over the past few weeks, we've been reviewing properties that city have owned and has owned. Over that, we have looked at some of these that potentially any of the city departments, ADCs, airport, any other, and waterworks that may no longer have use for this. We are proposing to dispose of either through auction or bids. And so in your packet, we included the 11 parcels that we're proposing to either auction off or bid out. One, this would help recoup some of the, generate some revenue. And then 2, hopefully this would put that property back into the tax roll. And so I have a quick presentation just on the properties itself. And so here we have 4 different properties. This is on Madison. And so you will have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. These are 50 by 140. Again, Cameron County Appraisal District has it at 16,000. We do have to go back and hire, Commissioner,
Keep going.
hire a surveyor and a official appraiser to see what that actually looked like.
That's for per lot.
Per lot,
Per,
correct.
thank you, that's all I wanted to
And
ask.
so the fire station doesn't need this land.
Correct. And so there's also a property adjacent to the fire station that, based on their recommendations, we're not at this point selling. But the ones behind it and this one are. And so this is just photos of that area. This is another one. This is on a road. This is the railroad. And so this has about 90 by 140. And so it does look small on the map, but it is, again, these reviews and the criteria that we looked at, we got to make sure that whoever buys it can actually develop it, can actually build maybe a small house or something. That's a picture of there. This is on Tyler, between Tyler and Harrison. The Circle K is here, or I'm sorry, Stripes. And so I know it's 140 by 110, and then 220. And so, again.
Is there a private party that owns the other half of that island? That
Over here?
That peninsula?
It's actually Texas right away, and so they have 150-foot right away from here to here.
Okay.
This is by Sunshine Strip, north of what is Business 77? Right behind the library. These here, for some reason, they were parceled out at 25 by 110. And so more than likely to actually build some, we would, whoever bids on it would have to come back and either join the properties or build it on both of them, so. And that's all I have.
So it is an action item, Mayor, Commissioner. So all we're asking for is the authorization to move forward and get them appraised, get them surveyed, and put them out for bid and see what we get. Put them back in the tax roll.
What's the cost? Do you have a cost on how much it's going to cost to get them appraised?
We haven't not gotten estimates yet, but we can, and if you want, we can bring it back.
Motion.
If you're going to do it, do it.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 6, consideration possible action to change the primary and alternate appointees from the City of Harlingen to the Technical Advisory Committee of the Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Mayor, Commissioners, in July, the City Council appointed Gabe Gonzalez as the primary and Assistant City Manager Carlos Sanchez as the alternate to the Technical Advisory Committee of the new RGVMPO. Since we were able to hold on to Joel, and with all his experience in the MPO, I'm asking the City Council to consider changing that to have Joel as the primary and Gabe Gonzalez as the alternate.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Item 7, consideration possible action to accept or reject bids and award contract for the Jefferson Drainage Ditch Repair Project under bid number 2020-02.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The project consists of the rehabilitation of the existing concrete line drainage ditch, which was damaged on the storm events of June 2018 and 2019. The project will consist of removing and replacing the damaged concrete panels, installation of new concrete curb and gutter, chain link fence, and roadway repair. The project is located along Jefferson Road within the limits of 21st and 25th Street, adjacent to Bonham Elementary School, with an estimated net length of 0.23 miles. On September 29, 2019, and October 6, 2019, the city advertised and requested for sealed bids for the rehabilitation of the existing concrete line drainage ditch. A pre-bid conference was held on October 8, 2019. On Thursday, October 17, 2019, staff received and opened 3 sealed bids for the proposed project. All 3 bidders attended the pre-bid conference. The apparent lowest bidder, Diamond 8 Industries, at the time of the bid opening, failed to recognize the addendum and therefore submitted a non-responsive bid. Diamond 8 Industries has verbally withdrawn from its original bid. However, they have failed to submit written notification. After tabulation of the bids and review of the contractor's qualifications, staff recommends the Jefferson Drainage Ditch Repair Project be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder, GO Underground LLC, with a bid of $278,985 for cast-in-place concrete panels.
$895, right?
$278,985.
Sir, isn't this one of, didn't they just fix that a few years back? And
So
I'm saying that because doesn't the contractor who did that work initially for the city, do they not have responsibilities or insurance or, because that was a big project. And I remember that getting done a few years back and it obviously failed. So we can't go back to the original contractor that we spent, I don't know how much, hundreds of thousands of dollars we spent on them, and ask them to fix it or get some kind of credit or take some kind of legal action or?
I believe the project was originally constructed in 2011, which was fairly recently.
Right.
Typically, there's a one-year warranty period. There might be additional warranty. We can certainly look into that. But as far as I know, we cannot go back at this point.
So I have a hard time doing that. They only give you a one-year warranty for that kind of work.
Sure.
That's industry standard.
Well, who was that contractor? Do we know?
Leal Construction.
So it's not these guys?
No, and that company is no longer in existence.
To answer Mr. Serna's question, he is correct. It's $278,895. I have a typo here on my summary. My apologies.
And do we know who this GO Underground is?
So they did,
I mean, are they known to our city? Have they done any work for us? Any history?
They don't even work for anybody. I mean,
I believe it stands for George Olivares, and he did show up to the pre-bid meeting. He was asking questions. He appeared to be, involved in what was going on. As to if he's performed other work for the city, I can't answer that right now, but I can follow up and get you an answer for that.
Or can we do make sure that
It's reputable.
make sure we get some references on him? I mean, my concern is just like what happened with Leal Construction. They did
No
the job,
relation,
and
right?
here 5 years, no relation.
Just wanna make sure.
5 years later, they're no longer in business. And so, I'm looking for, I know in the past we've asked, are they listed with Dun and Bradstreet, things like that? I think
Sure.
we should have some due diligence.
So we did, I believe we did request references in the bid package, and we have verified those, so.
Okay, there's a gentleman in the back that wants to be recognized. Are you with Go Construction?
Yes.
All right, you want to come forward? Would you like to come forward?
Gentlemen, we're with Go Underground. Any questions you might have?
Do you have an idea of why it failed? Or why what the damage you're gonna go repair? Do you have an idea of why?
We're gonna go repair. I don't know why it failed. There's many variables as to why it could have. But
Was it the weight of the concrete or the grade of the concrete or?
I don't have specs and plans on previous work that was done there, so I can't, it wouldn't be a fair answer.
So you wanna repair something, but you don't know why it broke?
Well, they can't, it's like, they don't know what's wrong with it until they get there to take it apart, and then they'll know.
Okay, so I think the right question is, who's going to do the engineering on this
There you go.
project?
Thank you.
Are we going to do the engineering ourselves?
Correct. The engineering plans and specifications have already been created, and that's what the contractor bid on.
And so you'll be watching his work to make sure that it's done according to your specifications?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're bringing up a good point. So Carlos, do you know, as an engineer, why it failed?
So, like gentleman mentioned, Commissioner, there's speculation, there's different aspects as to why it could have happened. Looking at or making an assessment when we first noticed the damage, there was some separation behind the curb, the back of curb, and the concrete panel where water could have infiltrated.
Okay.
during high velocities, high volumes of water which we experienced last year and this year, the erosion, the expansion of the soils could have pushed some of these panels inward into the canal itself, and then the weight of the concrete itself caused it to kind of buckle. And so part of our investigation included, we did soil samples we hired a geotechnical firm to go in there and do bores, so that we could investigate what's behind and the soil types that we have. They did make recommendations as to and it's part of the design where we do the slurry concrete so that we can fill in some of those voids before we put back a concrete panel in its place.
So what I was going to ask, part of my questioning is like in the past when we've done a street, some of the questions are, do they have the equipment? Is it readily available? Do they have the financing to finance it as they're doing the project? You know, those are our concerns. I know that he can probably do the work. My concern is that everything has been done when we're doing a project of this sort to make sure that the person that we're going to hire has the complete capacity to do that financially. Because things can slip through when you're trying to jog back and forth. And
So I can speak to that. The bidders are required to issue a performance bond.
Okay.
So they're bonded. Typically, that's the teeth behind, getting them to complete and finish the job as per bid or specification.
But if I remember, sir, that again, this is what I remember from the last one. The last one didn't complete the job, and they were bonding. I think the city had ended up picking up the tab and doing it, or finishing out the project. So I just don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, that's my concern is that, like, when I see the streets, I know that a contractor comes in, he gets 5 streets, he has to bring one piece of equipment in to do the street, and then he moves it to another location, and there's that lull that's there. I know this is a different type project. I just want to make sure that the person that we get it has the wherewithal financially to make sure that the project is launched, executed, and completed in a timely manner and then in a correct manner.
Well, and if I can, to
Yes.
Commissioner Oribe's point earlier about finishing the project, the contractor that had the project finished the project.
Okay.
It did take longer, much longer than anticipated. He did have some issues out there, but they did complete the project. The city did not. The warranty period is typically a 1-year warranty period. That's the same for road projects as it is for drainage projects. That has been our standard. Typically on TxDOT roadway projects, they don't have any warranty period. But as a city, we do ask for 1 year, so we get that. Now, with respect to the contractor, what other jobs have you done that are similar? I suspect we called the references, right, Carlos?
We've submitted all our references. We've been in business for 20 years.
Okay.
Most of our work is with TxDOT. We do state highways. We have 4 current jobs with TxDOT right now. One with the city of Wesco. This project, it's
Have you done a concrete line ditch previously?
yes, sir, we have.
Okay, where was that, and when did you do it?
Well, not necessarily a ditch, but riprap. And
What's a riprap? Yeah, what is a riprap?
riprap is what we're gonna do here.
It's concrete.
Concrete. Right here is a cast in place of concrete panels.
It's another term for a ditch. It's another term for a ditch.
It's another term for a ditch. Okay. Okay.
Kind of like calling each other.
You're speaking in jargon and I don't understand. It's fine. No, it's cool. I'll throw computer stuff back at you, so we're good.
So you do have the equipment readily available to get started on the project?
As soon as you guys give the notice to proceed, we're ready to go.
According to the internet here, they're licensed and they're bonded, and they have life experience.
What's the timeframe? You figured to get it done, the job done? A reasonable timeframe?
That's in the contract.
It's in the contract, I believe it's 90 days.
Okay, so you're looking at February, March completion?
So we can make a motion based on the fact that...
Weather permitting.
Okay, but we can make a motion based on the fact that you've already done the background, you've already called the references and all that other. We don't have to include that as part of this motion?
No.
Okay, and
Motion.
I like the fact that you've done work for TxDOT, that speaks volumes. And 20 years in business, that speaks volumes also.
And I'm glad you're here.
And we're actually,
Yes.
we're actually-
That's a big
At least you
plus,
showed
you're
up,
here.
you know?
yes, and we're actually from Harlingen too, so our office is right down the road.
Okay.
Any questions you guys might have?
Well,
Motion
then
to
I'll
approve.
make the motion, go ahead.
You got a motion?
Make the motion to approve this
Second.
contract for
To award the bid to go underground.
$278,895 to
Oh, sorry. I thought it was you.
Go Underground LLC.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Yeah, Commissioner, there are things called, statutes of repose, and there are time limits you can sue a contractor. We might be within those, but if the contractor doesn't, doesn't
They went,
exist.
yeah, they're
Yeah, there's not, I mean, you could probably get the city attorney to research that for us if you wanted to, but probably not gonna make much difference.
right, okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Item 8, consideration, possible action to change the regular city commission meetings of January 1st to January 8th and January 15th to the 22nd due to the holidays.
Mayor, Commissioners, we can certainly have our meeting on January the 1st, but it is a holiday.
I like that.
I know the staff is.
I got sworn in on the
We can do it at 9
31st.
AM.
So I know in the write-up, in the agenda item, I put down, we can move it to the 8th and the 15th to the 22nd. It gives staff time to do the agenda. But I would recommend that we could cancel the January 1st meeting and simply go ahead and have the 15th, the meeting on the 15th. The agendas are going to be light moving forward.
Well, it's not on here, but I
But-
won't be available the first week of February. And so if you move it to the 15th, then we're going to have, because I'll be coming to you with that, because,
I'm not moving it to the 15th. It's on the 15th already.
well, it says you
So-
want to move it to
so
the
there's a
22nd.
there's a meeting scheduled on the 1st and the 15th.
Correct.
I would ask that we cancel the meeting on the 1st and still have the meeting on the 15th.
And I'm saying, I think,
Yeah.
if, we need to have the meeting on the 22nd, because you may have a large gap, because you're going to have two commissioners out of town on the first week of February.
Oh. Okay.
Who are they?
We still have a quorum.
We would still have a quorum.
So you would still have a quorum, okay, whatever.
But it's up to the commission. We can move the 1st to the 8th and the 15th to the 22nd.
I'd rather have a light agenda on the 8th
Okay.
and take the burden off that 15th, take the pressure off the 15th, move it to the 22nd. That's just me speaking.
Whatever the wishes of the
Right.
commission.
We can't do
My
like the
recommendation is
second
to
or the
cancel
third?
Wednesdays are good. People are used to Wednesdays. I mean, it works good for me,
Yeah,
works
yeah,
good
you don't
for-
want to move it to January 2nd.
I mean, because I
No.
think that's
No,
easier.
people are still out of town.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's my concern. The folks going to be out of town.
Okay, so you would be comfortable with, is this even on?
Thanks, sir.
Speak loud.
The middle button.
Dan just thinks the meeting can,
Yeah.
we don't need a meeting we don't need a first meeting. It's
Okay.
a light agenda, so
Right.
do January 15th. And then if we need to have a special meeting or something,
We can call it.
we can
Okay.
call a special meeting.
Fair.
Okay.
And.
Sounds good.
That way we can call it our regularly scheduled
And
meeting.
look, we can we'll put an item on the agenda the 15th. If we want to reschedule the first meeting in February, we can consider that too.
Are we still having both meetings in December?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the motion is to only have one meeting in January, which is going to be on the 15th?
Really, the issue is, you guys don't really want to have a meeting on New Year's Day, right?
No.
I don't either.
I don't
Or
think
maybe
we,
on the 8th.
So let's just,
Just the 15th.
so
Not
let's
unless
just,
Dan's bringing the pit.
Cancel the.
so let's just cancel.
Just have it on the 15th.
How about, let's just cancel January 1.
We're going to cancel January 1 and continue
Leave
with
everything,
January the
leave
15th.
everything
else
the
the
same.
same.
And then we'll.
okay, I'll make a motion to cancel January 1st meeting 2020, and we'll have a meeting on January 15th.
Second.
Okay, that sounds good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 9 is board appointments.
I have none.
I have none, Mayor.
I have 3. Reappoint Shelley Mitchell to the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee. reappoint Ernesto Flores to the Construction Board of Adjustments. I believe that's the right one. We have two different boards. If it's not the Construction Board of Adjustments, it'd be the Zoning Board of Adjustments. I can't remember which one it is. And then I have an appointee, Kristen Appel, to the Museum Advisory Board.
Okay, is there a motion to approve those appointments?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our agenda, so we are adjourned.